Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I will be talking about Melody's recent interview with Black Enterprise magazine. And also, we're going to get into the alleged story of how Sheree and Martell met, okay? And then also, of course, we have this first story up, which is the Drew and Ty connection from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, before we get into these stories, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. It will cause YouTube to push this video into its algorithm, meaning that YouTube will recommend this video to more people who have similar interests. You know, others who also watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They love celebrity gossip, celebrity news. And also, if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so with that being said, I want to get my banner up here. The Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary is allowed. And of course, everything said here is alleged and is an opinion. All right, so with that being said, let's jump right on in. So, if you've been watching season 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know that Candy's husband Todd has been writing and producing a movie called The Pass. And The Pass is about a married couple where they give each other a night, for a pass to actually smash someone else. And in this movie, Drew Sidora, who is Candy's castmate on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know Drew Sidora from the TLC biopic. She was also on the hit TV show The Game. She plays the wife, and she is actually going to have a lesbian lovemaking scene with the actress Erica Peoples. You may recognize Erica Peoples from the CW show All American. She was also in the film True to the Game. I read that book and I saw the movie. Both were good. And also, Erica Peoples is from Mount Clemens, Michigan. That was the other connection that I wanted to mention. So I wanted to talk about this because as I was watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I saw they kind of showed a clip of her and Drew being intimate, and I recognized her face. I said, that's the girl from True to the Game. And I follow both Erica Peoples and Ty Young on Instagram. And if you look all the way to the right, you may see this is from Gossip of the City. Shout out to Gossip of the City for uncovering this back in 2021. It was a rumor that Ty was dating Erica Peoples. Now, I kind of feel like they just kind of got caught hanging out in public and then it was assumed that they were dating, because if you've been following Ty on Instagram, you know that Ty is very good friends with Erica Peoples' brother, Anton. And so because she hangs out with Anton whenever she flies out to California, then you know that she also hangs out with Erica Peoples. So with Erica being in the movie The Pass with Drew, in next week's episode, which is the season finale for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're going to see the movie premiere for The Pass. I have a feeling that Drew and Ty kind of met in passing through them both knowing Erica Peoples. So I have a feeling that Drew and Ty are not dating at all. It was just a matter of they were seen perhaps sort of close. They may have shared a kiss. They may have been flirting with each other, but I don't think that they're dating. I could be totally wrong, but I do feel like the way that they met was very much so. They both knew Erica Peoples. Erica and Drew, they starred in this movie together, and that's how Drew met Ty. Now, whether or not they've started kicking it since then, we'll have to see. But that was just my theory on the whole Drew Sidora, Ty Young connection. But you all let me know in the comments what your theories are. So then we have to get to these Negroes right here. Okay, so I do have a soundbite from the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is where Sheree says in her confessional that her former assistant, now friend, Anthony, who is to the left. He's got the platinum blonde hair. He's wearing the shades. He's wearing like, beige color, nude color, because if you were invited to Sheree's, sip and see for her new glam baby, Mecca, then all of the guests, they knew that they had to wear nude because the family was wearing pink. It was very cute, such a cute event. That picture of Sheree, that was her dress was like a fuchsia. And the rest of her family, they were all wearing like a baby pink, a soft pink, and Sheree even stood out in her fuchsia. But the balloons and the flowers and the teddy bears, it was absolutely beautiful. Of course, it was held at her home. Her home, it's big enough and massive enough to be like this entire trendy, chic banquet hall. So, of course, she can just host events at her house, right? Chateau Sheree. So, she actually tries to say that the former assistant turned friend, is the person who hooked her up with Martell. Now, do I buy that? Absolutely not. In my opinion, Carlos King totally produced this idea for them to start dating last summer. And he said, why don't the two of you work out together, walk Sheree's dog out in the park so that someone can conveniently recognize you two and snap photos? Or it may have been Carlos in the bushes who snapped the photos, because it was literally, there was also cell phone video last summer. And it was like really like low budget, like ghetto cell phone video. Everyone was making jokes in the chats like, is this on a flip phone? And then we kind of saw where they were dating. We saw them in New York City and they were on Instagram Live and so on and so forth, just feeding the monster, okay? So now she's trying to say that Anthony set them up. I'm guessing that Carlos, from watching the blogs, he realizes that the viewers, we know that this was his idea to set up Sheree and Martell. I feel like Sheree would be the only one who would be down with dating Martell. And then it also gives her a storyline that I'm guessing in her mind, she thinks is a huge storyline. There's no way that he could have talked Kenya into pretending that, she was dating Martell. I think that Kenya has had enough of people assuming that she's had like the fake boyfriends on the TV show. Plus, she knows that he cheated on Melody and disrespected her, and Kenya just wouldn't go for that. That's just what I feel. And then also that pretty much leaves, because everyone else is like married. I mean, granted, Drew is going through a divorce, unfortunately. The other single woman is Marlo. And then for whatever reason, I guess Carlos did not approach Marlo. Marlo totally wouldn't even want to fake date Martell, because even with fake dating, I'm sure Marlo would require that you fly her out of the country every single week and take her shopping every single week as well. And in my opinion, allegedly, I don't think that Martell could afford Marlo at all. All right. So with that being said, I am going to play this quick soundbite from Sheree, where she is allegedly telling this fib about how she and Martell were introduced.
Anthony made the connection between me and Martell. He and Martell are friends. I just happened to be out one night and he was in town. Anthony called and said Martell wanted to meet you. So we started talking and have been hanging out consistently ever since.
So in that soundbite, Sheree almost makes it sound like Anthony was hanging out, saw Martell was in town, recognized him, and texted her. She didn't even say like, oh, Martell and Anthony are good friends. They hang out sometimes when Martell comes. She didn't say nothing like that, because I don't think they know each other. And even if you recognize Martell, you're going to text her and then walk up to a stranger, Martell, who doesn't know you, and then just say, yeah, I know this lady named Sheree. She's on a reality TV show. I'd like to hook y'all up. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And anyone with half a brain could easily poke all of the holes in this story. But you all let me know what you think about this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this interview. It is with Melody Shari, of course, and this young lady, I don't want to mispronounce her name. I believe it's Jerusalem. She is a staff writer for the Black Enterprise magazine, which is major. I remember like learning from reading Black Enterprise, like you have your assets, the value of your home, your savings account balance, your 401k balance from your job. You add those up, those are your assets. Then you've got your liabilities like your mortgage, your car note, your student loan debt. And, those are your liabilities. You do the math and boom, there's your net worth. I just remember being like a young adult and trying to be grown. And my sister, Kim, she subscribed to Black Enterprise. So that was how I started getting into it. But it's a great tool for our community to really get a grip on finances. So that's why I appreciate that publication. But anyway, so Jerusalem interviewed Melody, and what I loved about this interview was that it was so balanced. They did not just talk about Melody's success in business and her variety of businesses that she owns, from a hugely successful skincare line to property preservation and teaching others how to tap into that industry, and her God Said Go merchandise. But also, this interview touched on Melody's wellness and how she focused on her self care and putting herself first. And she really spoke well about how women, I say, we're trained from when we're little girls, we're trained to be people pleasers. And sometimes if you are blessed to grow up in a two-parent household that attends church, it's like a double whammy. It's like in the home, you're taught to people please, and then in church, you are definitely taught to people please and to know that you're going to be judged for very light things such as how you look. So I kind of feel like Melody is a master at overcoming those things that we are pre-programmed into. And so I just really want to get into this soundbite about her prioritizing herself.
When it comes to prioritizing your personal well-being, the importance of that and how it might impact other people. Absolutely. I hope that that's one of the things that people do pick up, right, from following me and watching the show, is because so many times as women, we are taught to put ourselves last. We are taught to put our mental health, our overall well-being last. And I literally have been showing what that looks like, unapologetically putting that first. And when you're doing that, it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks, how they think you should have handled it, what they think you should have done. The fact of the matter is that the people who understand and know you and who understand and know that, hey, I haven't done anything to her, so I know we're good, right, then that's what it is. So, you have to get to a place where you're not worried about what other people think, and you're doing what you got to do for you and for your family. Yes, I'm a believer. At times I'll be like, dang, why? But over time, then I'm like, oh, you know what? It makes sense. So now I just trust your judgment. Yeah. I've just learned as a viewer to trust your judgment on that and even practice it in my own life. Absolutely. And you know what else too? Like trusting your intuition. We throw that word out there all the time, but we're not really living it. We're not living what it means to trust your intuition, right? We'll talk about it, but that ain't how we walk. And so if my intuition is telling me, hey, something's not quite right over here, or hey, you need to spend some time with yourself, and then I don't follow through with that, right? Then you're not actively trusting your intuition. So it's a big thing, especially women. We wear so many different hats. And, we are, a lot of times we are people pleasers. We want to make everybody happy. You want to make your husband happy, your children happy, your mama happy, your aunties happy, your cousins happy, siblings happy. You want to make everybody happy. And in that, sometimes we lose making ourselves happy. Yeah.
Yes, I thought that was a beautiful soundbite. Thank you, Melody. I totally agree. She used the word intuition, and she said sometimes we don't follow it. And I want you all to know that when you are not following your intuition, it is like a form of self-betrayal. If you know a person is disrespectful, they're always trying to manipulate you. They try to get you to question your own convictions and things that you feel strongly about, just so that they can say that they're controlling you and getting you to do what they want you to do. Or if you do speak up and say, well, I really can't do that. I don't have the time. I'm not able to. And then they totally flip on you and now they're mean and they're yelling. You have to remember, what they showed you. In the words of Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when you don't believe them and you go back into that trap, it is self-betrayal. And these are the thoughts that came to my mind when I was watching this interview. And I just think that it is just so powerful and important the way that Melody shares these details with women. And she's right. We are literally trained to people please. We're trained to obsess over a wedding, not even so much obsess over the marriage, but the wedding, okay? And the man, that we put ourselves last. And it can affect your health, your self-esteem, how you perform on the job. But even then, don't make the job your God either. So I just thought this was wonderful, wonderful conversation. I love the young lady's questions. Again, it was a very balanced interview between talking about business and wellness. Because if you're not well, if you don't love yourself, how can you be successful in any other area, right? It's like when you work out, you're always told to draw from your core, so if your core muscles are weak, you can't do anything else. I love the show Dance Moms. It used to come on Lifetime. And I remember Abby Lee Miller telling the girls, when I need you to jump and leap, don't use your legs, use your core. And then that gives it that power. It's that same thing. Like if you don't take care of your mental, if you don't love yourself and, F people that's disrespectful, it's going to trickle down to other areas of your life. So I enjoyed this interview. I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's not even like 25 minutes. So it's perfect. If you're going to like fix dinner or maybe walk on the treadmill or something, check it out. I just typed on here on YouTube, Black Enterprise Melody, and it popped right on up. So you all let me know what you think in the comments about these stories. I appreciate you all checking out this video. Thank you so much for your support. Please hit the like button on this video. It would help out my channel so much. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. And I will talk with you soon. Bye.